Here's more wrestling news for February 21st, 2023, and we're starting off with AEW, and in the 4 years since he founded the promotion, fans have learned a lot about Tony Khan, including the fact that he doesn't take criticism well. After Ariel Helwani called Khan a frustrating interview last year, the AEW president recently accused Helwani of being biased and lacking integrity, all because he appeared in a brief clip from SmackDown in Ariel's native Montreal. Eric Bischoff knows all about dealing with criticism from Tony Khan, and on the latest 83 Weeks podcast, the WWE Hall of Famer reacted to TK's latest outburst. Tony is inviting a lot of this criticism. He acts like a petulant child in the way he responds, and his response to Ariel in the crowd was a petulant child whose feelings were hurt because somebody took his toy away from him. I mean, it's just so absolutely childish. I think that's a reflection, at least in my mind, of who Tony Khan is. He's immature, he's a child with a vanity project, he's passionate. I'm not taking anything away from that. Bischoff was balanced in his comments though, saying that it was inappropriate for Helwani to call Khan Snowman, an insinuation that the AEW president uses drugs. As the head of AEW, Tony Khan is allowed the freedom to conduct himself however he sees fit, but do you think he went too far with his comments on Helwani? Or was TK entirely justified? As we mentioned earlier, Tony Khan did not take to a brief segment on SmackDown with Ariel Helwani, saying that the veteran sports interviewer is biased in WWE's favor. The latest outburst by Khan saw Helwani respond by calling Khan a snowman, implying that he uses a white powder to keep so energetic, and these comments didn't go unnoticed by those in WWE. Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful Select reports that the Khan-Helwani beef was a topic backstage at Elimination Chamber, stating, "Most of the WWE roster were aware of the Tony Khan Ariel Helwani tweets by the time Elimination Chamber rolled around, and it was discussed among several people backstage." During Elimination Chamber, Michael Cole made a reference to Khan's actions, calling Helwani an unbiased journalist and asks the tough questions, even if his interviewee doesn't want to answer. Many have called this a dig at Khan's refusal to answer any questions about CM Punk's status with the company, and his refusal to answer those questions and others led to Helwani calling the AEW president his most frustrating interview last year. On his show, Helwani said that when he saw Khan's tweet, he first thought it was fake and pointed out that the AEW president was insulting Tony Schiavone in his tweet, and also admitted that he watches the competition over at SmackDown. Given that SmackDown and Elimination Chamber were in Montreal, Ariel Helwani was just happy to be in front of his fellow Canadians, but that was crossing a line for the alleged snowman of AEW. Throughout his illustrious career, Mick Foley took several nasty bumps in the WWF, and one of his most iconic moments came on the February 2nd, 1998 edition of Raw. That night saw the New Age Outlaws throw a dumpster containing Foley and his hero Terry Funk off the stage, a spot that the most important name in WWE was willing to take. No, we're not talking about Foley or Funk, though they are legends in the ring, but on his podcast, Mick explained that Vince McMahon was adamant that he should take the bump in rehearsal. When Foley tried to talk McMahon out of the idea, McMahon said he didn't want any wrestlers working for him to take a bump he wasn't willing to take, but Mick eventually talked him out of it. Foley added that he's glad McMahon didn't take the bump, which he believes didn't look devastating enough, but McMahon would perform other feats for other superstars. Vince infamously rehearsed Shawn Michaels' zipline entrance at WrestleMania 12, and more recently performed a huge dive planned for Rob Gronkowski at WrestleMania 36, as it goes to show that for all his faults, McMahon is willing to risk his own body for his superstars. It's been nearly 2 months since Jay Briscoe's life came to an untimely and tragic end, and his daughters Jaylee and Gracie were seriously injured in the crash that took their father's life. Both girls needed surgery, with Gracie needing serious back surgery to move her legs again, and now there's been an update on the sisters. On Facebook, Jay's widow Ashley told those concerned that the girls are heading back home and shared a photo of their two daughters in wheelchairs, alongside herself and their brother. Following the death of Jay, Tony Khan promised to support the Briscoe family, and a donation page set up to help the family out has raised close to $350,000. Of course, no amount of money can replace what the family has lost, but it's a good sign that Jaylee and Gracie will be able to recover from home, and we wish them all the best. Since being founded, AEW has always had a more open-door relationship with the indies than compared to WWE, but with that said, not every star is available to work outside the company. Over the Top Wrestling has hosted AEW talent in the past, and the promotion's Scrappermania event was supposed to feature Jon Moxley, but that's no longer the case. On Twitter, OTT announced that Moxley is off the card for the March 17th show, but that another AEW star will join Eddie Kingston, Santino Marella, Davey Richards, Big Damo, and more on the show. While the tweet simply said that it was due to reasons beyond their control, many believe Moxley was pulled by AEW, who is the top star advertised for AEW's House Rules live event on March 18th. Given that this show will be in Ohio, it makes a lot of sense for Moxley to return to his home state, but AEW's big plans have come at the expense of OTT wrestling. Charlotte Flair is the most decorated champion in WWE Women's history, having held the Raw, SmackDown, NXT, and WWE Women's Tag Team titles in her career. In 2022, WWE unified their men's world titles and men's tag titles, but speaking with the Daytona Beach News Journal, Flair said she's against the idea of unifying the Raw and SmackDown Women's Gold. Flair explained that unifying the titles would mean fewer opportunities for women to have major pushes and hold championship gold, and it's worth pointing out that neither the undisputed WWE Universal title or undisputed tag titles have changed hands since being unified. Given that WWE has been teasing the tag titles being split and have discussed introducing a new world title, it appears the promotion has regretted their unification process of last year, so don't expect the women's gold to become one anytime soon. While Mercedes Moné is clearly in New Japan Pro Wrestling right now, there's still a lot of questions about Naomi's WWE status, as she hasn't been seen on TV ever since her walkout in May of last year. In a trailer for the upcoming episode of Bar Rescue, Naomi can be seen as an extra, but she is in the bar alongside the new IWGP Women's Champion. Bringing in celebrities to appear on Bar Rescue isn't uncommon, but it is interesting that Naomi is appearing on TV with a former superstar and champion of another promotion. And do you think Naomi's time with WWE is up? Let us know in the comments. Over to Raw now, as Asuka's wave of momentum continued this week with a victory over Nikki Cross, while her WrestleMania opponent, Raw Women's Champion Bianca Belair, was at the commentary desk. After the mandatory WrestleMania sign point, Asuka let blue liquid pour out of her mouth, creeping the Raw Women's Champion out in another mind game from the Empress's new persona. While Asuka is still a babyface, her new look screams heel. And don't be surprised if a loss to Belair at WrestleMania causes the Japanese superstar to fully snap and embrace her darker side. If so, it'll be unfortunately for Asuka, who despite her incredible winning streak from 2015 to 2018 is winless at WrestleMania. But a full heel turn could result in her unleashing a far more vicious side and capturing the title from Belair in the following Premium Live event. But who are you rooting for going into WrestleMania? And do you think Asuka will be the one to end the near year-long reign of the EST of WWE? And we're ending with John Cena, who after becoming WWE Champion at WrestleMania 21, was thrust to the top as the face of the company, a position he held for a very long time. At WrestleMania 39, Cody Rhodes hopes to become the next top face of WWE by dethroning Roman Reigns, but according to one WWE legend, Cody doesn't have to wait until April to be on Cena's level. Speaking to Sportskeeda, Teddy Long was asked about the American Nightmare, and not only believes that Cody is at John Cena's level, but can outshine the Chain Gang leader. Cody Rhodes can certainly outshine John Cena any day. He's a great competitor. I've known Cody Rhodes since he was a little bitty boy playing on the softball team. His father, Dusty Rhodes, God rest his soul, gave me my first job, so I'll never forget that. But Cody Rhodes, I guarantee you, will outshine John Cena any day. During a recent episode of Raw, Cody spoke about how arrogant he was in his early years and thought he'd be the next John Cena within a matter of years, and though fate had a different plan, Teddy Long firmly believes that Rhodes can outshine Cena.